how can student utilize internship effectively for long-term student standout?
Yeah, this is extremely important question, and I recently I had my nephew. He was from I guess Delhi College of Engineering, and um, my niece and nephew, both of them cleared from there, and he kept on asking me, and he kept on asking me, "Mama, internship is coming on. What to do now? Can you guide us anywhere?" and all of that, right? And I always kept on somehow making him focus on identifying the gaps. Okay. So I said, why don't you identify gaps? And he was like, we've learned in HR, we've learned in finance, this model, that model, this is the analytics model that we've run, this is stage two we've reached, so on and so forth, right? But the way we see that knowledge is from practical, pragmatic point of view. Where is the utilization? So I think internship is extremely potent and important to every individual uh, in the education journey. First thing, very important thing that all of us need to realize is just don't go vague to companies and apply for internships, right? Majority of people just want to do internship with a particular brand or probably with a particular area for that matter. I think internship has to be done in a particular field of field of expertise that a person would like to develop. And for this, first step is a person has to study himself or herself, right? So what they really want to do. So let's say I'm from HR LNOD background. I get a lot of internship requests where people say, sir, we would like to do internship. We would like majority of the internship opportunities probably students would be getting would be hiring and recruitment calls, right? But having said that, people walk out from there. Now my point is, why do walk out from there? You have extremely important position there. If you can prove yourself that you can have a worth within those 3 months to start closing humans and people for job opportunities, which are, let's say, mid-level or senior level. If you get that exposure at within your internship, that'll be a wonderful stuff, that'll give you different level of confidence. So internship, first thing is know yourself, what are you really good at, and what qualities you want to possess, and take internship as an opportunity of being exposed. Don't shy away, you don't know. The biggest question that people say, oh, I know, sir, I will do it. And then later on they get stuck. So, you don't know. You're there to learn 110%. But then you should be focused towards what you're going to learn within that internship opportunity. So first you need to study yourself, understand what you're really good at, understand what you really want to possess and learn or experiment within that internship, and then go ahead and talk to people who are giving you opportunities for internship and ask them these questions. Will I get a challenging task? What do you think are the current challenges you're facing, Mr. HR or Miss HR? Ask them, ask people like us, what are the challenges we are facing in the organization? And we would say, what, my attrition is my challenge. Somebody would say, what, DI is my challenge. What's there in DI, right? So then they might come across with, let's say in DI, we aren't able to, calculate the ROI. Now this becomes like, food for thought for you. And then you come back and you start studying a bit about it. And next internship interview, you go ahead and you say, or the similar guy, same guy, you go and approach and you say, what, I have cracked a formula. Maybe this is how we can do this. I'm really excited for this project. And then this project becomes your breath for those 3 months of internship that you're going to do, or maybe 6 months. Yeah.
Sure, sir. That's really informative for us. And the next query is, what role does emotional intelligence play in leadership and how can student develop it?
Well, emotional intelligence plays extremely important role, and especially at the beginning of the career. Okay. uh, we naturally emotional beings, humans are naturally emotion beings. I don't know, whatever happens to us, two things are there which is embedded in us, and it has to do with culturally as well, where we are developed, and how we are developed as well. So first is, there is a virus called know it all virus, mujhe sab pata hai, right? So I think everybody has to understand that mujhe sab nahi pata hai, right? maybe you must have earned 99%, 99.99999%, in your graduation. That doesn't say is that, mujhe sab pata hai. Maybe Gaurav Sisodia would have spent 20 years in probably 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 industries across 7 continents. That doesn't mean that I know everything in HR and in OD. Not at all. Still there's era and scope for learning and a lot of learning altogether. So I believe, in order to develop emotional intelligence, first thing somebody has to get out of their cocoons and shells. All the students, they have to come out of their cocoons and shells that, I know it all. The know it all virus is not taking anybody anywhere. And second is, taking everything on the bypass windows, and especially at the early stages. You know what happens? Anything anywhere would happen, we would immediately take it right here. Instead of applying a bit brains on it, thinking over it, questioning our own thoughts, is we've never been thought about questioning our own thoughts. So why I felt like this. So majority of the reasons, majority of the early stages of life, early careers, people don't stick around within a company for more than a year. And these are early stages of life. If you see 70% of the people, there has been a study, the 70% of the folks who've been hired through campus and everything, they don't stick around for more than a year within their first jobs. What we train and teach as HRs is how to take care of people, how to ensure that people stick around and continue after their first year. I'll give you a small story around developing emotional uh, uh, question and EQ and IQ. So there was a gentleman who joined my team once. He was a trainer, he joined my team. Okay. And within the first month of his experience, he was working with me like continuously day and night because I was establishing the entire digital learning architecture. Now, I joined the company, I worked there for a bit of time as a IC, individual contributor. And then after some time, I thought of kind of hiring. I got the approval of hirings and I hired my first person. I knew I hired a first person who was highly analytical. Okay. So I'll be learning a lot from that person. First thing. Second is, I knew this person also at the same point of time doesn't have patience or consistency. So now is the time for me and him to stick around. And within the first month of me giving, and we were working, like I still remember till 10 o'clock we were working, we're trying to solve problems and then walking off together to the office from Gurgaon and walking those lanes in the night and everything. And we were talking to ourselves, and this guy apparently started interacting with other people who were from his state working within the company, because he saw people leaving early, he saw people coming late and all of that, right? So he's like, my boss is like this. And within 1 month, he came to me and he said, and he developed this notion that all the work is been done by him. But he was not realizing that we are preparing for the next stage. And then he comes one day, deciding that, I think it's too much that is happening within my team and to me. I think I should resign and probably start looking outward. So what happened was he started interacting with people within the state or probably other teams, which were maybe at different stages, right? He comes to me on a chai ki tapri and he says, Gaurav, I'm thinking of applying somewhere else. I said, great, wonderful. Where do you think you're thinking of applying? He said, there are a couple of offers. And then he mentioned a couple of names. I said, oh, great. Two of those names struck me because their CHROs were my friends and we worked together. I said, oh, great. So understand, I know their personality traits. This might be how they will grill you. So in the evening, let's prepare for your interview and then you can probably best of luck from my end. And this guy was like, he was thinking all the work's been done by him, or I've been very brutal or probably kind of pushing him to the boundaries. But at the end of the day, he never turned up in the evening to be prepared for the interview. And I asked him why. He said, because I thought that I was doing all the work. I thought within the first month, I was the one who's been pushed to the boundaries. And I thought if I leave, you won't let me. I thought if I leave, you will hold me back. But you didn't. Within a blink of eye, you said, it's okay, I'll prepare you for the interview. And he said, I've never probably got hold of this, right? And there must be some reason that you're so confident that, if I walk out today, you'll be able to build somebody else. I said, yeah, 110%. And I said, now tell me what happened. So he gave me this whole story and told me I started interacting with other teams and everything. I said, buddy, you give me 3 years, I'll make you head LND. You give me 3 years of your career, I'll make you probably go at the top. He was a trainer making, let's say, 3.5 lakh rupees at that point of time. Now, within 3 years, he's a head LND, by the way, and he's at probably 40, 45, 50 lakh rupees of package. So what is there to learn in this story, is extremely important. You don't think through emotions, right? You apply your brains, you hold. And a couple of exercises I can tell you is something called the 5-second breath. Whenever you guys wanna, as students, you wanna feel, pushed to the boundaries, you're feeling cornered or something like that, right? And you really want to vent out and be flaming, just take 5 seconds, and breathe and talk to yourself, right? I think these are very important steps, and it's extremely important at early stages because later on we develop it, right? Somebody else or the other will push us through those boundaries, and we'll understand that graph actually shoots up. We catapult after crossing those stages. But then for students, it's extremely important uh, to question their own thoughts and decisions, to take 5-second breath before flaming, and go to you'll be joining internship, your professors as well. You go and ask them, why they want you guys to do something, and learn from them. Thank you.